Hello, this is primarily to explain one of the articles that has been published in the Hindu today. Since most of you may not be having the pay, there's a paywall, so not being the subscribers, you may not be able to read it. So through this video, what I'm going to do is I'm trying to explain the gist of this article and how it originated. Of course, it originates from very sad moments in Himachal Pradesh where we've lost more than 100 people, and the asset loss is around 2,000 crore rupees, though there are different estimates for that. But at the same time, this is not unprecedented, as the former Chief Minister Jairam Thakurji was saying. It is very much precedented, and it's happening every year, 2023, 2024, and now it's 2025. Still, we are continuing. And I've also tried to bring in a conversation between why. Actually, this triggers from an anecdote where I said it's Kalyug, and if it's Kalyug, these are bound to happen. But is it really because of the preconceived notions of Kalyug, or what we are trying to build modern day capitalism, which I term to be Kalyug in the modern form? So let me just go through the article here. We've seen how the monsoon rains have struck Himachal Pradesh in late June, still continuing. Mandi district, we've seen entire families were buried, school children were swept away, and highways collapsed. The National Highway Authority of India has been indicted for very callous attitude. The death toll has already crossed, as I said, more than 100. But I would say yet none of this was unexpected. Scientists, locals, and memory keepers have long warned that climate instability is now the Himalayas' new normal. I just repeat, new normal. Glaciers are retreating, monsoons have become erratic, and floods are no longer seasonal surprises. They're embedded in everyday life in villages across Palampur and, of course, Parot. They are part of our childhood stories. The Himalayan crisis is not looming, it has arrived. It's not looming large, it's already there. And it's not just about melting ice, it's about a world view that prioritizes extraction over equilibrium. I repeat, that prioritizes extraction over equilibrium. Climate change is the symptom. The deeper cause is a development model rooted in domination of land, water, and communities. I again reiterate, it's rooted in domination of land, water, and the communities. Scientific reports about the Himalayas have warned nearly 1.8 degrees centigrade in just 5 decades. Warmed by 1.8 degrees, double the global leverage. The consequences are now irreversible in many ways: committed warming, expanding flood zones, and the loss of glaciers within our lifetime. There's a very interesting thing that the children born after 1996, to whom I call the disaster evolved generation, grew up with first aid kits in school bags, maps marked in flood zones. Their resilience isn't a virtue, it's a necessity. This normalization of disaster reveals our collective failure. What should shock now doesn't. This is a deeper tragedy. Infrastructure has made things worse. Hydropower projects, dynamite riverbeds, roads slashed through unstable slopes. We've seen with NHI, storm drains accelerate runoff. Most roads ignore even basic slope protection norms. These choices intensify vulnerability. Development, as practiced, has become a vector of disease. So there's a new vector of disease that we are witnessing in Himachal Pradesh, and of course the entire Himalayan region. Relief and mitigation institutions exist. There's a state disaster management authorities in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and I'm sure in all the states that have mapped hazard zones and issued warning frameworks, but implementation remains weak. Reports gather dust, buildings flagged as dangerous remain unoccupied. High-risk zones are never relocated. The gap is not in knowledge, but in will. Yet alternatives exist. Nature-based flood control with terrace slopes, stone retaining walls, forest buffers, and marshlands is not utopian. It's all scientific. They're practical and already recommended. Settlements must avoid natural drains. Roads must obey slope codes, but for this, ecological wisdom must override bureaucratic inertia. I don't know when we'll be able to break this inertia. The psychological landscape is also shifting. Emergency kits are now part of hill life. In Chamoli and Kullu, families keep torchlights and documents ready for evacuation. Yet, disaster drills alone are not enough. Communities need training, early warning systems, and clarity on what not to save when fleeing. True adaptation is collective. Interestingly, Hindu and Marxist philosophy, because I come from a Marxist philosophy, but of course, Hindu mythology is which dominates this entire region. So let me just give a very interesting interconnection between the two. So Hindu and Marxist philosophies alike remind us that liberation begins with security. Security means water, dignity, shelter, and of course, capitalism's unregulated thrust has eroded both ecology and solidarity. Recovery lies not in individual survival, but in rebuilding shared systems, community forests, public buffers, and state funded resilience. Mandi's devastation is not a glitch, it's a signal. More roads, more tunnels, and more denial will only worsen the next tragedy. It must build differently. We must build differently with accountability, compassion, and ecological reverence. This is not just about floods, to be very honest. It is about what kind of future we are willing to imagine. The children of the Himalayas already live that future. Whether we choose to equip them with broken systems or transformative courage is entirely in our hands. The Pralay is here. Not divine, by the way, but it's man-made. What we build now will decide if we survive it or not. Thank you for details. One can go through the article, and if one needs, I can also share the text. Thank you so much.